Hey everybody, how's it going? So, before we get underway with this video, I want to give a disclaimer that I may or may not get a little heated in this video because of this most recent news that we just learned about regarding Call of Duty 2022, or as they like to call it right now, Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2. So again, there's going to be a disclaimer. I'm going to be going off on a bit of a rant in this video because at this point, I just seriously cannot take this anymore. And as the title of the video says, it's getting ridiculous what Call of Duty is doing nowadays, and they just can't help themselves anymore. So for those of you who haven't seen, we've gotten some recent news that has come out regarding certain things that could be coming to Call of Duty 2022 next year with Infinity Ward's new game. And those two things that we were going to be talking about today are around some new game modes that could be coming our way. And so I'm going to put up some images on screen right now showing off the two pieces of information that we have received within the last couple of weeks. And so let's start off with the first piece of news that we got a while back that I actually had missed originally. And this comes from a Twitter account, Modern Warzone, who, by the way, is not a great source of information. It's the guy mentioned in the tweet, whose name is Tom Henderson, who is a credible leaker in the business. So pay no attention to the Twitter account, Modern Warzone. That account, no offense to him, is literally a joke. I mean, that guy literally tweeted out that Vanguard was a top 5 finish COD that we ever had. And, you know, he's basically been defending Vanguard a lot recently, I feel. And so that's everything you probably need to know about him. So the first tweet up here says, DMZ is the rumored third game for the sequel to Modern Warfare 2019. According to reliable insider Tom Henderson, this mode has been in development for 4.5 years. DMZ equals Escape from Tarkov with a Call of Duty twist on it, basically a new twist on Battle Royale. Now, let's read off what the other one says real quickly. It reads, a new leak has revealed a Rainbow Six Siege style mode coming to Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2, and as it says below, it is a attackers versus defenders type mode. Now, before we get into my rant for this video, I want to give some background behind these two specific game modes that these tweets are referring to. So, regarding Rainbow Six Siege, to start with, attackers versus defenders. For those of you who are not familiar with Rainbow Six Siege, especially as somebody like me who has not played the game, but I have done my research. So basically, the objectives of some of the games that you are playing in Rainbow Six Siege are to rescue a hostage, defuse a bomb, or take control of an objective in a room of a building. Each side plays defenders or attackers. Now, to be fair, I will say this, Call of Duty has never done a hostage rescuing type game mode, I think, ever. So if they were to ever do that, it would probably be something new for the franchise. So I wouldn't be too mad at that. But everything else I just named is pretty much everything that we've seen before in COD already. Call of Duty has already done demolition, which is defusing bombs. It has already done controlling of objectives, which is hardpoint and domination, and even control with the newer games. So with that being said, I'm not really sure what Call of Duty would be doing here with this supposed new game mode. Now, talking about DMZ, which is the bigger one here, I feel, out of the two. In regards to Escape from Tarkov, the objectives of that game are that you need to get into a lobby on this big giant map, and your objective is to make your way to it's basically a way for you to try and escape off the map. And during that time when you are trying to escape, you will come across other various players who are carrying loot that you can collect and escape with, and they would actually lose it all. The higher tier loot you have, the better off you are, but if you lose it for good. It's all gone. So it's basically a risk and reward type of game that, from what I hear, again, I've never played it before, but from what I hear, it actually does very well in its own game. A lot of people really like Escape from Tarkov. And now for the rant portion of this video, and you're probably wondering, why is this such a bad idea, Orion? Why are we about to go on a rant here? Well, I'll tell you why at this very moment it's a bad idea, because of the fact that it's not Call of Duty doing their own thing as per usual. Why do we keep doing this, Call of Duty? Why do you continue and insist on just copying what other games do to put in your game? Why are we just moving away from you guys being able to do anything on your own and come up with your own crap? This is getting absolutely ridiculous now. And is there seriously nothing you guys can do on your own anymore? Can you not be original or creative and change things up on your own without writing off other games' success? And you guys are probably wondering, well, is this really that bad? And the answer to that is yes, it is, because inevitably, if this fails, specifically that first one, which has been said to have been worked on for the last 5 years by the time the game releases, then yes, that's a massive failure. And you are probably also asking, well, what if it does succeed? Guys, I have some news for you. What has COD done recently at all that has succeeded or been good? I mean, seriously, at this point, anything Call of Duty does at this rate, the chances of it succeeding are less than 30%. Everything these companies and Activision have been doing recently for the past 4 or so years has just been utter garbage and lazy. They cannot do anything new or on their own anymore. This has been a stigma now for a while, ever since we went back to games like Black Ops 3. And I talked about this in one of my most recent videos, talking about the state of Call of Duty. You guys can go check that out on my channel. These companies have been copying other games for years and years now, and guess what? It's been failing and slapping them back in the face. I legit cannot think of anything that these companies have been doing in regards to copying other games that a majority of people actually liked. I just cannot anymore with these companies, man. And look, as far as we know right now, we don't know if this is Infinity Ward's doing, that they wanted to make these moves to make these game modes. For all we know, it was all Activision who wanted this, and Infinity Ward had no choice. And if that's the case, then screw Activision for like the 100th time at this rate. And the other thing that we don't really know about these two pieces of news is that, could this mean we are getting a 4th game mode for the first time in Call of Duty history? Or is one of these things being worked on and the other isn't? I mean, that we don't know yet. So we are approaching the springtime within the next couple of months, and so that is normally when we would start to hear some stuff about the game, but knowing what Call of Duty has gone through in recent years, we are probably not going to know anything at all until the summer, because they don't know what they're doing anymore. Again, guys, the whole point of this video was to bring up these two stories and basically talk to you guys about how it's just not going to be a commonality with this franchise, that they will just they will not do anything new anymore, especially doing new things on their own without the help of other games who probably will end up doing it better than they would. It's just that everything Call of Duty touches now, they just ruin. And so I just have a feeling that if they go through with this, it's not going to be like what you guys think it is. Also, through one of those stories, particularly around the DMZ game mode, we learned that this was actually supposed to be the 3rd game mode for Modern Warfare 2019 a couple of years ago, but they eventually put in Spec Ops instead in its place. And that ended up being the worst 3rd game mode we've probably ever had in COD history. And which points to the fact that this story includes that they have been working on it for 4.5 years. And let me tell you something right now. If this DMZ came out into a failing miserably and comes out in an unfinished state with a bunch of bugs and glitches and all that stuff, people are going to lose their minds. I can guarantee you that nobody's going to be happy about them. And of course, how can we forget the other part of this news story regarding that game mode, that it is a new twist on Battle Royale, because we just need more Battle Royales in our life, don't we, guys? Don't we? Yeah, we totally want more Battle Royale in our lives for gaming. God, man, I just cannot take it anymore with this franchise. And at this point, it seems like the only new thing that this up-and-coming game is going to be doing is going to be the campaign, because the campaign, I won't lie to any of you, I'll be brutally honest about this. The campaign, when we first heard about what it was going to be about, I was actually genuinely interested in the premise, because it's not something that we really explored before, and it pertains to the idea of being in the modern times as well. So that all comes together in that sense. So unfortunately, though, I won't be able to play that campaign because it will be locked behind that $70 that the game would be worth. And I don't think I'm going to want to pay that much money for a game if every other part of it doesn't appeal to me or ends up coming out in an unfinished state and broken state like the last several CODs have. I feel maybe covering Call of Duty news on this channel is something I want to do now because, again, as I said in my last video, I'm very passionate about this franchise of games and I want it to be good. I really do. Guys, I hope you understand everything I say in these videos is meant to come out of a state of passion. I don't want to make these videos because I want the game to suck. I want to make these videos because I want to make the game good and hopefully have these developers and Activision listen to our complaints. Obviously, we know they're not because it's always good to try and push hard against them to do so. I also don't make these videos because I have a disdain for any one sole person at any one of these development companies like Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer. I do have disdain for a lot of the people at Activision because those people are legit scumbags, like Bobby Kotick, who has covered up so much stuff that has happened at that company. So I'm not going to let him off the hook, all right? He is somebody who I genuinely do have a disdain for because he's just a really terrible human being. And I know there are YouTubers out there that make videos like this who are actually going at people working there and calling them names and that. And that is not something that I want to do because I want to be respectful in that matter while also voicing my opinions on what should be happening with the state of this franchise. Name calling and all that stuff is not going to get anybody anywhere. And if anything, it only just makes it worse for our side. So if that is something that I would recommend to all those YouTubers out there that make videos like this, who call these developers names and stuff like that, I would highly recommend them to stop doing that because it just is not helping their case. Some of these devs who still work at these companies made some of the best COD games that ever back in the old days. And so to this day, I will never truly understand what has happened to where things have gotten worse, but I can only do my part by trying to help them out and voice my criticisms. So guys, that's going to do it for this video regarding Call of Duty news. Again, there's still a lot more to learn about these two specific game modes, I feel, because at the end of the day, we don't know everything. We just know that these are potentially rumored and leaked game modes that we could be getting in the future for the next title. My only point from this video was just a voice to voice my annoyance in this franchise for continuing to just copy what other games are doing instead of doing their own thing. Because also to bring up as well, I don't really see other franchises doing this a whole lot if you think about it. It's really just Call of Duty who does it the worst. Yes, understandably so, the most recent Battlefield kind of did that in certain areas where they copied stuff from other games and it also slapped them in the face. And guess what? That should be a lesson learned, right? When you copy what other games do to put in your game, it doesn't work because at the end of the day, the games that did it first are the ones who perfected it. They did it correctly. So that is why I make this video, to just voice why it is never a good idea for other companies to do this. If you want my real opinion on what I think Call of Duty has done in regards to copying other games that actually did kind of benefit them in some ways, was actually the first thing they ever did, which was copying the movement from Titanfall to put into Black Ops 3. That is about as far as I would go to say that the only thing that this franchise ever did in regards to copying other games that worked was the movement. If a lot of people didn't like it at first, but it worked out. It worked for the first It worked for a time period in which the game took place, and to this day, that game is maybe my most played Call of Duty game ever, and a lot of people's favorites. So I have to give it that game credit, at least for that, even if it was copying another game. So guys, with all that being said, I'm going to leave it there. I want to hear all your thoughts down below in the comments of what I had to say today in this video. Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Be sure to comment down below and be respectful about it so we can have a good conversation about this story. And as always, if you like this video and you want to see more of it, be sure to hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe and turn on the notification bell and share this video so you can keep up to date with the posts in the future. And yeah, I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.